It's a week of rivalries for San Diego football. While the Chargers get ready to take on the Oakland Raiders, for the San Diego State Aztecs, it's the last chance to dance with the BYU Cougars. Brigham Young University is leaving the Mountain West Conference to become a football independent at the end of this season. So this week's trip to Provo, the last opportunity for the Aztecs to get a win in Utah. They've only beaten the BYU Cougars twice in the history of LaVell Edwards Stadium.
As much as, they've got great history and tradition, it still comes down to how we as a team go in there and how we play and how we execute, and we don't flinch or get big eyes or whatever you want to call it. We go play the style of football that San Diego State wants to play.
Talking about Provo, it's a great environment. It's a college town, and they love the BYU, and they love their football team. So they get a lot of support, and it's a big stadium, and they just like to turn the noise up. So I think that's the biggest thing when you go anywhere that the crowd likes to do is try and get loud and disrupt an offense or defense communication-wise.
It would appear that the Aztecs would be catching BYU at the exact right time, but head coach Brady Hoke begs to differ. The Cougars have dropped 4 straight. Their last game was an embarrassing blowout loss at the hands of Utah State, the very same team the Aztecs dominated their last time out on the field. But Coach Hoke is pointing to the tradition and the history of the BYU program, as well as their tough schedule, to say the Cougars are a wounded bear.
And we all have been through it, various times, and either as an assistant coach, and I can promise you, when I was with Bronco, even though you're not the head coach at that time at Oregon State, we weren't very good, and we had some struggling times, and I know him well enough to know how he attacks each day, and how he will inspire that team, and how well they'll play.
They're going to be coming out and gunning for this one, and you can't take it lightly. Anything can happen in college football. You can't play the game of, well, they beat them, so we'll beat them, and it never works that way.
When you got that much pride in your program and that much tradition, I'll promise you, they'll be ready to play football.
Kickoff at Provo set for 3 o'clock Pacific time on Saturday. 619sports.net's Chris Ella will be there with full coverage for the website. Along with videographer Dave Evenson, I'm Craig Elston reporting from the campus of San Diego State University for 619 Sports.